As you look back on years and years of scholarship on Jesus, what would you say are the most important discoveries, findings about the Jesus of history?
That's a difficult question because we have no testimonies written about by Jesus himself, and no inscriptions mentioning like the emperors or coins mentioning like the emperors. But there is, I think, not one fact alone. There are coming quite a lot of things together, I think. There is, I think, the rediscovery of Josephus, becoming more and more important, something like a commentary to the Gospels and to Acts. And there are the inscriptions now, more than thousands altogether, and we have perhaps in two other inscriptions with Jesus, son of Joseph, which shows that this name was very often used. Probably we have now the papyri, we have now the Qumran finds, and show that the theological background, not so much of Jesus himself, but of his disciples, especially of Paul, are influenced by Palestinian thought. This is all coming together to show that these are all commentaries to the Gospels and show their true historical background.
What would you say are the most reliable or trustworthy features of the life of Jesus? Speaking as an historian, what are the most trustworthy features of the life of Jesus? What can we say
of the life of Jesus?
What can we say with confidence about Jesus?
This is quite sure. This is his crucifixion. That I think he was crucified by the Romans, but delivered by the leaders of the Jewish community, the high priests and the scribes, and especially some group of the high priests were strongly against him. This is shown, I think, by Paul, our earliest witness, that he was crucified. Christ crucified. And he heard it from Josephus in the Testimonium Flavianum in Antiquities 18, and we have some mentioning him in the 2nd century by Greek or Roman writers. Tacitus tells that he was put to death, not put to death by Pilate. And a famous Greek writer in the 2nd century, Lucian, mentions him, calls him the crucified sophist, and makes fun of him. And therefore, because that a crucified Jew could become the Messiah, Son of God, and Savior of mankind, seemed to learned Roman and Greek writers some sort of evil superstition, you see, and Greek philosophers in the about 170 to 180, Celsus is already writing a sharp polemic against the Gospels. And here I've read them exactly, and shows how important the Gospels were at that time already, in the even for pagan writers. Another, the greatest medicine in antiquity, Galenus, is writing positively about the Christians and their moral living, but is wondering about also their superstition.
You've spent a lifetime studying the 4 New Testament Gospels. How valuable are they for telling us about the real Jesus?
I may say they are unique. you see. And they're absolutely necessary. And they are in their heart, I think, in their center, reliable. To show us the true Jesus as our Savior, you see. Not only as a carpenter who lived 2,000 years ago, that's much more. And as in their form, you see, as a charismatic, as a biography written for preaching. They are really as a religious testimony. They are really unique. If you compare them with historians in antiquity, there are big differences in the style. All gospel writers have a relative simple Greek style. I think because this the stories and the teaching of Jesus they are writing are rather near to the real Jesus. Maybe mostly in the synoptics, a bit less and more difficult in John. And therefore the Gospels were despised by ancient intellectuals for a long time, as you can see with Celsus and others who are making fun about these books. And the most learned Greek writer, gospel writer, is Luke, who was a medicine, a doctor, and had some learning. And this is shown by the prologue he wrote to his gospel, which is excellent Greek. Jerome writes he is the best stylist among the gospel writers, and you can find it also in the second part of Acts, where even the part about Paul, where it's not so Jewish background, but he changes his style and is more fitting to Greek and Roman examples. And there you see there are also differences between the different gospel writers in style and mastering Greek rhetoric. Surely Luke is the most rhetorical one. Nevertheless, he's reliable. Especially he has brought extremely interesting traditions in his special traditions, which he brings alone. And Mark and he are the most important sources for the historical Jesus. Matthew comes at the third point, and John at the fourth. But the historical problems are in John are the most difficult ones.